Turn down a dirt road, rebel flag flying, coon dog in the back. That ain't the song we gonna be singing, boy. We're gonna be singing that other song. You know, that good song. Oh, yeah. Kiss an angel good morning. Let her know you think about her when you're gone. What's going on, guys? Tyson Anderson, Mr. Hammer Down. Listen, guys, I won't be before you long, but I will be before you strong, right? So, a couple points I wanted to touch on. People ask me all the time. I get little inboxes or text messages and calls asking about how I prepare for the the hunting season. Well, there's a multiple things that I can choose from in trying to answer that, or trying to better answer that, but I think I would like to go with one of a few, right? And instead of doing a list or an outline of what those exact things are, I just felt that I would just dive right in. So, first things first, running those dogs. Guys, as much as we turn away from it and shy away from it and frown upon it, if you're not working, you know, and I'm not talking about everybody. Hear me. This is just solely one, my opinion, and two, me addressing or answering solely based off of my opinion, right? Okay, if here's the contingency, if you want to have those dogs surely sharp, or as where the country folks that I'm from, how they say it, if you want those dogs, you know, show enough sharp or show enough right, SHO, show enough right. The only way to do that is one way, and that's to run the hounds. You have to get them out of the pen. You have to give them all the time that they need. Sharpen them on the edges or place that you know they need buffing or buffering, buffing, and go from there. The reason being is because, you know, that dog's not going to make itself in the pen. And I apologize in advance for the noise in the back. I'm actually on the road right now as we speak, to head out of state to run a little bit. You'll see those videos to come. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people, and it's been a thing that's been going on for years and years and years, that guys will leave dogs in the pen all off season long, and then all of a sudden 2 days before hunting season, maybe an hour before it comes in, they start trying to run the fire out of those dogs. Well, that's exactly what you do. You run the fire clean out of them, and after you've ran them, you know, countless times and countless hours on end, and those dogs are hog fat, throwing up, you know, Dunkin' Donut slices and goo and cream and stuff. You know, those dogs, what are they going to give you when it comes time to pull the trigger? They're not going to have a whole lot in the tank. Now, that's just most of them. I mean, you know, hey, lay off from playing basketball, the game of basketball, if you're professional, for 4 or 5 years, and then go back and try to play the night or 2 nights right before the championship game. You know, same can be applied or deemed applicable to that of a Major League Baseball player that's been off for 3 or 4 years, or if you're Tiger Woods or whoever you like in golf or whatever. You know, it all works the same. Athletes are only as good of their last performance. Let me say it like that. An athlete is only as good as his last performance, his or her last performance. You know, and you can't really just bank off of, well, last year that dog was top notch. Woo, boy! It ought to be a boot scooting good time. No, it may not be a boot scooting good time. It might just be a scoot boot good time. You know, because until you put the time in those dogs, that's the first thing. I don't want to hang up there too much, but until you put the time in them, you're not really going to see what's to be seen out of those dogs. I mean, it's just what it is for the most part, because, you know, it's like having fine lumber. You can hand a person fine lumber, and I say it all the time, you can hand a person fine lumber if the person never built anything out of anything and he never dealt with wood or never been a carpenter and known what it's like to deal with wood, period, they don't know the difference between fine lumber and scrap. Person doesn't know, they don't understand, and they don't appreciate the value of fine lumber. But you can give scraps to a fine carpenter that's got the time in, been doing it 50, 60 years, and he can build a beautiful edifice or steeple, and that's just what it is. So run those dogs if you have the time. If you're not working, this is where I was going. If you're not working, if you don't have that huge family, if you of course, dogs to some people is just a thing to do. It's not something that they really want to be so adamant on, or about. I get that. I definitely get that. For me, it's not just a passion, it's a way of life. It's my livelihood. I train dogs and breed dogs for, my livelihood. Transport dogs for my livelihood. So I want myself to be at the top of his game if I can help it. And that's why I run twice a day in the off season whenever I'm home. So run those dogs. Got to get them out there. Got to keep them sharp. Health-wise, got to feed a good feed. Got to make sure those dogs aren't covered in fleas and ticks and ear mites and all these different things. And apart from whatever accusation that's been, given, guys, I assure you, we definitely take care of ours. I've always been one to take care of dogs, and sometimes the dogs seem like they've been taken better care of than I myself. But that's the part of the passion. That's the part of it. That animal husbandry section sometimes is left out, and you just gotta take care of them. That's part of the preparation, because you're only as good as you feel. You're only going to perform as good as you feel. You're only going to look as good as you feel. But the main thing being that you have working dogs, you're only going to work as hard as you feel. And that's as simple as you can put it. And that's as layman terms as I can place it. Give it to you, So finding a good feed. I'm going to have another segment on that. Selecting a good feed. If you're adding a canine to your family, what to look for, what not to look for. Staying away from byproducts. Staying away from this. Staying away from that. Different dyes. All kind of different things. Like I said, I don't want to get too hung up in that, but those are two of the main things. Getting the dog out and getting a good food regimen. Getting a good diet underneath that dog and inside that dog to get that dog what it needs to perform at the maximum level. The third thing is being and having an open mind. Being and having an open mind. Why do you say that, Anderson? Well, I'll tell you why I say that. Because sometimes what we want to have the it, oftentimes, or at whatever percentage of times, just doesn't have it. You can like John Doe's champion, big leg, cap. And big leg cap may not be the line of dogs that turn out to be what you want. Or they could have been, and you blended them in with something else, and all of a sudden you've lost this or you've lost that, and you said, I like those big leg cap dogs, I'm going to stick with it. I made that up, you guys. Obviously, this is just a hypothetical analogy. It's all hypothetically speaking. And hey, I'm so dead prong on that big leg cap dog and line of dogs that I'm willing to turn the other cheek, close my eyes. Goodness is right in front of me. Exceptionalism is all around me. But instead of embracing exceptionalism, instead of opening my eyes and embracing change, I close my eyes and I turn a deaf ear. Turn a deaf ear on it. Well, guess what? You won't have too good of a hunting season. Now, I'm not telling you I'm the guru of Beagles. I'm not telling you I'm the godfather of Beagles or any of this crazy stuff, right? What I am telling you is small pieces of success that I have got a chance, and I'm so grateful for those affordances. To some that were small, to me they were major, to have and to have even today. We're having great success with the blends that we're using. I'm not saying that as a sales pitch. We're just having great success in my eyes, what I'm looking for. I know we're going to have a great season. To someone else, they're looking and saying, hey man, my off season is not going so good. Why? Because I'm not out running the dogs. Why? Because I'm feeding a $10, 50 pound bag of dog food. Joy Dog Food ain't going to get it done, brother, sister. It's not going to do it. Those dogs need a little bit more in the tank, man, than cheese nips. You can't snack the dogs. How if you're a grown man, grown woman, how far is a snack going to get you all day? If you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and jump on the keto diet. I'm not knocking those on it. But I'm a 200-pound man. I need food. I need protein, as my buddy Foster says, as my brother says. I need protein. I need carbohydrates. I need some substance. You need something to sustain those dogs, especially if you're going to be running like that. And then, oh gosh, when the winter time comes, the hunting season comes, guess what? You're really going to need some kind of substance for sure. Because that cold weather is going to do a number on those dogs, guys. Got to have a great selection in the food department. Got to have that. You got to have and be an open mind. And you have to be willing to accept and embrace change. Those are the 3 points I would tell anybody that's going to really take you to the next level when it comes to preparing and making the necessary preparations to have or to ensure you have a better, at least, and closer to successful hunting season. I think everybody's goal and object in mind, or objective, is to take rabbits in the off season. Now, some guys believe in the jump shooting and all of that stuff. I don't believe in jump shooting. If you come with us and you jump shoot the first time you jump shoot, we're not going to give you a second chance to explain. You don't get a grace in that department to be explained a second time the rules of what's forbidden and what's not. No, we're not going to do that. If you jump shoot the first time, we're packing the dogs up and we're gone. So that's another thing, guys. Let the dogs run. And that's not a point, that's just a disclaimer. It's just plug it in there. Let the dogs run, man. It's already a four-legged creature. That's why you hear me sometimes in my videos say, hey guys, it's 4 dogs, 1 rabbit, 2 dogs, 1 rabbit, 3 dogs, 1 rabbit. This creature has no chance. It's in its habitat, natural habitat, surely. But you got a dog that's clearly, I think, smarter than a rabbit. I never seen a rabbit open a refrigerator and hand a guy a beer. Never seen that before. So just small things, guys, that you can make those little adjustments. It's those small, minute adjustments that can take you to the next level. We're not talking about winning world championships. Some people aren't even field trialers. They're not into that. I talk to guys all the time and say, listen, I'm just a gun hunter. I don't know nothing about that AKC, PKC, your KC, me and C, PNC. I don't know about those things. They say, listen, I don't know about that. All that I know is meat on the table. And, meat guys don't care how ugly it is, how pretty it is. As long as they get the job done, they don't care. And don't get me wrong, I remember a time I was like that. Had great dogs, and I remember the time I went from great dogs to having the gay line of dogs. Gay crossed over into Mr. Danny Catron's old dogs. When he was actually breeding his own family's stock of dogs. And I'll just leave that there. But when he was doing that, and I was breeding those dogs that he actually got from his family's line of dogs, him and his brother Larry and James, and old Mr. Carl Brown, that's a great friend of mine as well. He's a great guy. When those guys were actually breeding when he was actually breeding his, family's dogs, the dogs that were left over from, those before them, I was putting those back over to the Frank Reese dogs. I have some smokers. Now, were they always clean? Were they always honest? Absolutely not. But I didn't care because we just wanted meat on the table. Well, now I care about all of that. I care if a dog barks 20 times before the rabbit gets up. I do. You may not. That's where we make the difference. That's where we draw the line. What I'm saying there, good people, is in that place, that's where you have to say, okay, well, that's where I'm a little bit more tolerant. That's where I'm a little bit more resistant. That's where I'm a little bit more accepting on the mouth. I'm accepting if a dog oversteps. I'm speaking this again hypothetically, and a general hypothetical, input on that. I'm willing and I'm accepting. I'm more accepting of a dog to overstep it 15 feet and keep on going. Now, me, that's not me. But there is somebody out there, just like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It is somebody out there whose 5 o'clock is watching a dog overstep 15 feet. They get a joy out of that. And they keep on swinging out and they get it, they go on with it, and they look at you and say, good God Almighty, boy, Hills, Bills, and Ferris wheels. Did you see that dog grab that rabbit and jerk them dogs, boy? And me, I'll just look and say, yes, sir, I sure did. And I'm not going to go into being combative and argumentative with that person, because that person thinks that that's the thing, and that person isn't wrong if that's what they want. So know what you want. Again, read what you want, do what you want. But if you want to have a successful season and you feel that what you thought was going to make you successful in the prior seasons, in the previous seasons, and they did not, there's got to be some adjustments made. Right now in the off season, I'm going to wrap this up. Right now in my off season, Tyson, what do? I solo, I brace, I 3-dog pack. I don't generally run more than 3 dogs at the most, because I don't run dogs in the off season. I train dogs in the off season. And it's so funny that I can't even think of his name right now, that the pastor came on and said that in Just Talking Dog segment back in, I think, 2019 or 18. He came on and said that same exact thing. You got to do that. You got to train dogs. It's a huge difference. It's a huge fundamental difference between training dogs and running dogs in the off season. And I believe in that. So my off season, I'm training. I'm in the mud. I'm in the freaking trenches, digging this dog out. And being able to identify what you have quickly is going to save you a whole lot of time. Don't care how good that dog looks. I don't care how well that dog is bred. He's off a dual national champion, world champion, night champion. Look at the paper on this dog, boy. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's how well that dog is attributing the basic essentials that the dogs behind him or her says he or she should be performing like, and is actually performing. If that dog is supposed to have extreme hunt, a big nose, and line control, but it's only showing a decent nose, horrible line control, and mediocre hunt, you need to get rid of that bag of dirt. Start over. It's not the end of the world. A lot of people have done it. Get over it. I know that sounds harsh. I know it sounds crude. I know it sounds abrupt. But get over it. I'm telling you. And that's what I like to do in the off-season, guys. I like to work on handling. I like to work on that obedience, which falls under the umbrella of handling, or vice versa, however you want to say it. I love to work on that dog's accuracy and precision, on the confidence levels. You get those confidence levels up, guess what? There's going to be days where that jump dog that everybody's focused on, jumping all of the rabbits, that pack dog that everybody's focused on, packing all of the rabbits, everything, the check dog and all that other stuff, they're not going to be the dogs that's getting everything. There's going to be times you're going to need to depend on the pack. That's why it's called a pack. Each individual should be bringing something to the table, and they should be good at what they do. Now, there's guys that say, hey, who's your jump dog? Hey, all of them have the ability to jump. But I'm pretty sure that if there's 6 dogs, 7 dogs, 8 dogs, no two are the same, and all of them are stronger and weaker in other departments. And that's why they come together. That's why basketball teams have their positions. That's why football teams have their various positions. That's why baseball teams have their various positions. Soccer and so forth and so forth. Anything that assembles a pack, there's going to be a leader. There's going to be a pack that follows. I mean, it's just what it is, guys. It's just what it is. You know, Michael Jordan could have done it without Scotty. He could have done it without Dennis Rodman. You know, Kobe could have done it without Shaq. You know, it's just what it is. There's always going to be that team, and you have to know what each dog is bringing to the table. And again, my opinion, I do not think you know what a dog is bringing to the table completely, of my opinion, if you aren't or haven't or don't solo embrace those dogs and break those dogs down consistently in the off season to figure out exactly what that dog is doing, what that dog is not doing, what that dog is capable of doing, and what the dog is not capable of doing. And then you bring all of those ingredients together, and brother, you've got one of the best southern fried steaks you've ever had. You got one of the best homemade butter pecan pies your mouth has ever graced the end of the spoon of. You know, so run them, feed them, be open, utilize, and engage in common sense. Train hard, let the good times roll. Until next time, Tyson Anderson, Mr. Hammer Down. We'll see you when we take back to the woods. You know what? Almost forgot. Please don't think that because I didn't mention deworming and going throughout the dog and cleaning out all those parasites and different things and Jebusites and Amorites and getting all of them out of there. Listen, that I've absconded from the duty of doing that part. I'm assuming that everybody does that. Worm the dogs, clean them out, give them those penicillin shots every so often, whatever your time frame, whatever your schedule. I have mine. Hey, that's a whole nother ball of wax there. So teach his own. Stay tuned. You get him? I don't know. Let me try to throw some more lead at him. Dead. I'd like to thank all of you guys for your continued support, all the subscriptions, all the likes, all of the shares. Hey guys, if you have not already, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time we upload a video. Thank you guys again.